Hi guys, it's Ariel with Seattle Coffee Gear, and today we're going to be giving you some tips and tricks on how to dial in the Eureka Mignon Notte grinder. It is an entry-level espresso grinder with 50mm flattened steel burrs. It's got a little plastic portafilter fork right here, and it's not really adjustable, so you do have to hold the portafilter in place to engage the grinder, as well as kind of keep it there, especially if it's a different size portafilter. The little chute is right here. We've got our dial right here, and when I'm starting to dial in, I typically will start at 0 and just kind of tweak as I go along. We're going to be dialing in a triple shot, so that's going to be 21 grams of espresso going into the portafilter and 3 ounces of liquid coming out for the brew. So we're just going to get started now. Got my portafilter here, and I'm just going to set it down here, zero out my scale. And this grinder doesn't have a grind by time, so it kind of forces you to use the scale to make sure that you have an accurate dose. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this started. And you kind of have to eyeball it, so I've kind of filled it up so there's a little bit of a mound on top, and we're going to weigh it to see how I did. We're aiming for 21 grams. 21.5. I still got it. All right, so I'm just going to come over here, and we're just going to kind of tap this against the counter a little bit to kind of distribute the grounds. Like so, and you've got your tamper here, and I like holding it like a doorknob with my pointer finger here and my thumb here, and that just helps give you an even tamp, because the tamp is just as important as the grind. You want to make sure it's as even as possible. And then I'll actually turn to the side and go at a 90-degree angle, and then just down once, and you only push down once. Kind of afterwards, you want to hold it up and make sure that it's even all the way around. So it's a good even tamp, so you want to apply even pressure. And what we're looking for is 3 ounces of liquid out in about 30 seconds or so, 30 to 35 seconds. Okay, so that did drop a little fast, so we're definitely going to have to make an adjustment here. So we reached 3 ounces in about 29 seconds, so that's a little bit fast, so I can definitely tell that this is ground a little bit too coarse. So I'm going to taste it to see, how far I need to tweak it. Right now it's really bright, so it's definitely under extracted. So we're going to go over here, and I'm just going to, you don't really want to make any extreme adjustments when you're dialing in, just kind of one notch at a time. Oh, yeah, no, that's really bad. So just going to pop this off. And I'm going to give this a quick rinse. And we're just going to use our hot water spout real quick to rinse our shot pitcher. Okay, so now I'm just going to take it a notch finer, like that. Okay, and we're going to try again. And dialing in is really, it's just trial and error. Some coffees are harder to dial in with than others. The most difficult ones to dial in are going to be light roast single origin coffees. Those tend to be the most temperamental when it comes to espresso. What I'm using today is Dogwood's Neon, so it's actually a blend of Colombia and Ethiopian coffees. So it's going to be bright and fruity. It's going to have a nice syrupy body once we actually get the result that we want. So we're going to try again. Okay, and again, we've got that little mound right there. 21. So we're just going to come over here, do a little tap, back with our tamp. Groom that a bit. Okay, here we go. Take 2. Okay, so this is definitely looking a bit better. It's not dropping quite as quickly. Color looks a bit nicer too. It looks a bit more full and syrupy. But it's still looking pretty light, so I'll probably have to tweak it again. Or maybe not. Okay. So now we're at our 3 ounces, and that was 36 seconds, so we might actually be okay. The crema actually looks a lot better. It's got a nice thick layer. It looks more syrupy than it did the first go around. So we're just going to give that a try. Yeah, it definitely has like a thicker body this time around, and it even smells different. It smells more defined, like you can smell some kind of like fruity and chocolatey notes. Before, it just smelled really, really bright, and there really wasn't a specific fragrance that you could pull from it other than bright. Okay, so we're almost there. It's definitely a lot sweeter. It doesn't quite have that really unpleasant tartness that it did the last time. So I think we'll just take it 1 notch finer. I'm definitely getting some more of those like defined berry notes from the Ethiopia. A little bit of citrus. And one fun thing to do to kind of help you pick up those notes is you actually kind of want to slurp your coffee a little bit. Coffee cuppers will do that, and what it does is when you slurp it, it hits your teeth and it will actually spray all of your taste buds. So your whole mouth is getting those notes of the coffee, and it also, your nose will pick it up too. So you kind of want to slurp it like ramen noodles, and that definitely helps coax out those notes. It defines them more sharply on your tongue. This is definitely a lot better. So again, we're just going to come over here, knock this out. And I like rinsing in between the shots that I pull. It just kind of helps keep everything a bit cleaner, so you don't have coffee grounds that get stuck in there. Give this a rinse too. All right, so I'm just going to take it another notch, and we'll go 1 more time. So again, we've got a little mound right here. Okay, so this one is actually a little bit heavy, so I'm just going to come over here And we're just going to take our finger and kind of like level that off. And now we're at 21. I'm gonna come over here and we're gonna tamp. I'm just gonna groom that real quick. All right, we're gonna give this another shot. Okay, we're looking a bit better, although it's might be a bit slow, but we'll see. Yeah, this is definitely a little bit slow, so I took it a little bit too fine. Because yeah, that was at 44 and we're not even quite where we need to be for that triple shot, but we'll taste it. You know, actually, this is actually not bad. So I think it pulled a little bit short, but the flavor is there. It's a really nice balance of the brightness and the more kind of syrupy notes. So espresso is, it's an interesting thing. It's kind of a blend between an art and a science. So I approach dialing in the way that I cook. So you definitely have to taste as you go. So you kind of have to proceed with caution when you're dialing in. You don't want to drink the whole shot, just sips here and there. But despite the fact that it was a longer pull and slightly short, the flavor is there. So I think I'm going to actually call this good. It's really a lot more well balanced. The flavors are defined and they're not overpowering each other. So I'm going to say that, yeah, we got that dialed in. I'm happy with this result. And that being said, espresso is also incredibly subjective. It's very personal. So what I like, you might not necessarily like. You might like a brighter shot. You might like something a little bit more bitter. So definitely approach it the way that you cook. Taste as you go. And there are rules, but they're really more like guidelines. So you don't necessarily want to follow a recipe to the T. If you're happy with the result that you're getting, then stick with it. But yeah, I'm super happy with this shot. But thank you for joining me for this dial-in video. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. We'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.